Trailblazers Courtside, presented by Pacific Power. Beautiful late spring day, early evening, outside.
Is it really late spring, though? Because it's like another month and a half left in spring.
I always think that.
It's like a mid-spring day.
Summer is officially like late June.
June 22nd or 23rd.
Yeah, so good month away. So late, depending on what you term late or early. But anyway. Sunshine in this room because Trailblazers head coach Stotts says
oh man, what a lead in. What a lead in.
It's all rosy after this, no pun intended. But the season has been over for a few days. I always suffer withdrawal symptoms that there's all of a sudden for 6 months you had a place to be and somewhere to go and a schedule to look at and so forth. I would imagine it's even more so for a head coach, especially a head coach that enjoyed this season as much as you did.
You know what? It's at the end of the season, it's always interesting because it just stops. You know, you're going 100 miles an hour for 7 months or whatever, and all of a sudden it's like you don't have to be in the office, and it's like all of a sudden it stops. So I think there's a recalibration for everybody at this time of year. You know, when to actually go. My wife and I are going to head out and take a week down in the warmer climes of California.
You guys take some great trips.
We do. You know what? We don't have kids, but the one thing that we do is we manage to take some good trips. And, you know, I don't know what we're going to do the rest of the summer, but it is nice to have the ability to go see different places.
You know, and it's great that you guys get to do that because one of the things that fans may or may not know is there's really not a time of the year when you guys aren't working. I mean, it's like almost 12 months complete.
Well, it is. You know, you get whenever the season's over, you have 2 or 3 weeks, whatever, you know, depending on how long you play. Then you start getting ready for the draft, and we've really developed kind of our thing is a lot of the young guys come back in June and are working out in our facility, and we still have draft preparations even if we don't necessarily have a pick. But this year we're going to have some of our veterans will be around. So June is, you know, we're in town, and let's face it, Portland's a great place to be in June. But then July you have Summer League, and then first week in August there's a camp down in Vegas for our young guys, and August is kind of a time to get away, and all of a sudden it's Labor Day and you're starting up again. So the offseason really has a little bit of a rhythm to it, but it's, you know, July is also not only Summer League, but free agency and the things. Neil's summer is busy, much busier than mine. You know, between the draft and free agency and just all those things, this is his busy time of the year.
We were talking earlier in the show, and Tone said he couldn't necessarily relate to teams that he played on, even though you were with Coach Stotts, you know, before.
Well, just for half a season.
Okay.
Twice.
But that half a season was really a close-knit group, I'm sure, that you were with. But
No, 3 times. No, just twice. Just twice.
So, but the question was, how much how much does it help? I mean, coaches and front office people can encourage players to stick around, you know, that city in the off season. But here's a group that's willingly saying that they want to be together, that they enjoy the camaraderie that they had during the regular season, and they want to keep it going in the off season. How much does that help in terms of keeping the chemistry of a team so strong?
You know, it's hard to say because it doesn't happen a lot, especially, you know, like when we were in Seattle. Seattle's a great place to be in the summer, but everybody wanted to go to their place. And the fact that Damian and CJ call Portland their home, the fact that these other guys, Ed Davis is going to spend most of the summer here. Obviously, everybody has their family, and they're going to travel in and out. But I'm very pleased that they are able to do that and that they want to do that. I think anything you can do to foster that type of environment is beneficial. And, you know, everybody needs to do what they need to do and what they want to do in the summer. That's their time, and you can't really dictate what they want to do. But the fact that they want to be here, they appreciate Portland. I think our practice facility, the fact that, you know, we upgraded that so it's a nice place to go to. The players enjoy going there. I mean, they go there to get out of the house. You know, it's a great place to be, and the fact that you throw in the Portland's weather in the summer and everything else, it's just I love the direction of just how things are going with that.
You know, it's interesting. Ed was quoted as saying that, you know, he's been here through all the rain. Now he feels like he deserves to see
Right.
some of the summer. I've always said that. Like, this is one of those cities I would never leave after spending 9 months of dreariness. I'd have to see this. I'd have to hear or see what everybody's talking about.
But, everybody has their home, and one of the things, and I do understand with players, is that, they move around, they get traded, they sign new deals, and they need a home base. And whether that home base is with their family, where they grew up, where they want to settle down, wherever it is, I certainly understand that. Nate McMillan loved being in Seattle. He owned a house up there. It was home. But in the summers, he went to North Carolina, because that's where his family was. So I understood that. But the fact that, everybody feels so comfortable here, and after they do their traveling, after they see their family and all that, they come back here. I think that's really special.
In the past, of course, Blazer strength and conditioning people, personal training people were very committed to going to visit players if they were not staying in town. Obviously, this makes it easier for them. Just to clarify what you as coaches can do in the offseason with guys. I mean, is there still some limitation, even though they're in your building and in your city, it's the offseason? Are there some things you can't do with them, some things
Honestly, the only thing that we cannot do is coach them 4-on-4 or 5-on-5. We can coach 3-on-3. A lot of times what we do in June is that we coach individual, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3 individual, and then they play. We bring in free agents and they play, and we don't instruct, and we stay within the guidelines of the NBA. But that's. And really, at this stage, I think that's really important for all the players, is to get that, to stay tuned in, to get the individual workouts. And personally, as a player, I love to play in the summer, 5-on-5, and I didn't want to be coached in the summer. It's like, this is my time.
Right.
And I understand that. And to go out and play 5-on-5 and play pickup, and to be able to have it in our building where it's with good players, with your teammates, I think it's a really positive thing.
Guys like Pat Connaughton, Luis Montero, those guys, this is their time to shine. The summer is when you take everything you learned over the course of the season and you try to integrate it into your game. Because the reality is, Luis didn't get a lot of playing time. He didn't get to see a lot of minutes on the floor, but this becomes his opportunity to shine.
Well, you go back to Will Barton and Alan Crabb and CJ and Thomas Robinson, and I mean the number of young players that have gone through here and have been here in June and worked in the summer and have gone on to play very well. I think it is directly attributable to the time that they spent in the off-season summer league, and there is a growth, and it doesn't come overnight. And I'm really proud of the fact that a lot of the young players that we have had here have gone on and they have improved. Obviously, CJ and Alan Crabb are the two from this year's team, but it starts in the summer. And one of the things about when you're playing in the season, everybody likes to see the young guys play, and how are they going to get better if they don't play. I think we have a pretty good track record of showing that guys do get better, even though they don't necessarily get a lot of minutes on NBA court in their early years.
I think you and I were talking, I think we had a game the day that Tom Thibodeau came back into the league and was now going to be not only head coach but also general manager, president of basketball operations, whatever his title is with Minnesota as well. And we talked about how tricky it is for a head coach to kind of have both those responsibilities, in that you are with guys day to day and you develop good and bad feelings sometimes about how they're playing over the course of a season. You have some ups and downs in that respect, as opposed to a GM that can kind of maybe take a little more detached look at things, and how difficult it is to make personnel decisions sometimes and take your heart out of the equation a little bit. Will it be tough, considering how much this was a team that was very easy to love and very easy to appreciate for how well they wanted to be coached? Will it be tricky at all to give some advice about when Neil comes to you and says maybe we have a chance to tinker with the roster a little bit in an attempt to get better? Is that a tricky proposition, considering how much this group accomplished and maybe how much they think they could accomplish if they stay together?
I think it's we're going to have some tough decisions to make, no question, whether it's me or Neil. And Neil is very astute as far as understanding talent, but also the team dynamics and the marketplace. And there's so many factors that go into it and into the decision making. And I think it's way too early to speculate about things like that. But with the number of free agents that we have, the number of restricted free agents that we have, the cap space that we have, the cap space that other teams have, whatever we determine our needs are going forward. Every team is always going to try and get better, and how do we get better? So there are a lot of variables that go into this summer and how we manage the roster, and I'm looking forward to it because we're going to have options, and I'm really pleased that the players on our team are going to have a market. They're going to improve their lot, and that's what you want. I mean, you want players to you want everybody to tell them, I'm happy if now I'm happy that you've improved your lot with your new business. So so it's you want everybody to be able to help themselves.
It's funny. That's
we're just going to slide right over there.
Yeah, I'm just not even going to.
They're a little stammering, though. That question was big, guess.
I think Cap said go to break.
I thought you did that, too.
Break, yep, break.
Break. Would you like to ask a question?
No, we're going to go to break.
Okay.
Let's just go to break. Yep. Break is fine.
Then.
No.
We'll get to Cap says you're welcome. So there you go. All right, we'll continue. We have a lot more to discuss with Trailblazers head coach Terry Stotts as we continue with this very special edition of Trailblazers Courtside, presented by Pacific Power. We are streamed live at trailblazers.com and simulcast on Comcast Sportsnet and the Blazers Radio Network. Trailblazers head coach Terry Stotts is with us. It's Wheels and Tone on this first edition of Trailblazers Courtside at the end of the season. So we're talking about a lot of things that the offseason might entail. And certainly now, how much of a fan do you become for what's left of the NBA season? We're down to the Final Four, the conference finals and everything. Do you get a chance? Do you like the chance to kind of just sit back and watch everybody else fight for a battle?
Well, if I had realized that by accepting the invitation to be here at Courtside that I would miss the first half of Golden State,
I was taping.
Of Golden State and Oklahoma City, I probably would have declined. So I would, I am a fan, especially, actually, probably more watching the team that just beat you and seeing how they do and how that other team does against them. But when you have two teams like Golden State and Oklahoma City, that really intrigues me, especially in the Western Conference. Obviously I'll watch Cleveland and Toronto, but it's not quite the same as the teams that you play often during the regular season, and then obviously the teams that were involved in the playoffs.
You and Dwayne Casey have a long history. Are you happy to see? Obviously, you have to be happy to see him in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm
so happy for Dwayne. He he has a remarkable story. His career is being at Kentucky and what happened at Kentucky and going to Japan and coaching women's basketball in Japan because he loved the game, and just watching his career over the time and the things that he's gone through. I'm just so happy for him. And Toronto is a great example of, they kept getting better every year. And obviously he's been under some pressure the last couple of years, and his team gets better. They play hard for him, and the success that he has is, he's earned every bit of it.
Ray Ratto, a longtime Bay Area media guy, put out humorously, he said that he felt watching the Blazers in the series against the Warriors that the Blazers deserved to move on and take the place of either Miami or Toronto to face Cleveland for the Eastern Conference Championship. And so I think that was hopefully more an endorsement of the Blazers than it was an indictment of what was left in the Eastern Conference. But I will say that it was really nice to see how many folks came around, and for a team that did not advance in the playoffs, I thought the Blazers got a whole lot of respect from a whole lot of people that maybe were sampling them for the first time this season.
I was very proud of our team and how we played, and the reception that we got from fans all across the country, and how much they appreciated not only how well we played, but how we played. I think our style of play was fun to watch. Obviously, Golden State plays the similar style, and it was a fun series to watch. I mean, obviously, being involved, I wasn't really watching it, but when you look at how many minutes we actually led in that series, and after being relatively blown out in the first game, how we competed for the next 4 games, and none of the games were necessarily decided early in the overtime game in Game 4. It was just, there were so many things to like about that series and style of play and the aesthetics of the game. So anyway, I'll take it from Ray that it was a compliment to us,
yes,
and not disparaging the East.
When you talk about that series and the way that the team exited, where does that put you now in terms of you come into the season, there was very low expectation. Making the playoffs was one huge step, but then getting into a series with Golden State the way you did and pushing them to the limit the way you did, where does that 50%, 60%, or can you really put a rank on?
What do you mean? What do you mean by 50%?
From where you were to where you want to be.
Every year is different, and we'll. Come September, the roster will be what it is, and where we go from here to next year, the goal for every team is to get better. And obviously not every team is going to have a better record, but I think what we've established is a foundation to build upon. And where it goes from here is going to be fun, I think, not only for me as a coach and our staff and the players, but the fans, because of the excitement. And granted, the expectations will certainly be different in September than they were last September, and that's a good thing. But I would like to look at the fact that the second half of the season we got better, we played better in the playoffs, and that will be our jumping off point next year. But right now it's about, for me, is just appreciating the season that we had, how rewarding it was from a coaching standpoint, obviously from the team and the city. How we were received is something that I'll always remember about it. But next year we'll take care of next year.
Because there were so many positives, maybe this is a hard thing to do, but was there a moment in this past season, either a game, a practice, a story, something that in your mind kind of characterized and really symbolized what the season was all about as you look back on it?
You can always look back at different parts of the season. I look back at November, December, when we lost a lot of close games and lost 7 in a row. And, at that time, you're saying, geez, I hope we learn from these things, which we did. I think when Dame missed those 6 games and CJ played 6 games without Dame, and we were able to win 4 of them, and one of them was against Cleveland, I think that was a big part of our career after a really rough December. And then, I look at January when we're under 500 and we turn the corner defensively. And I think of, we had some wins. We beat Oklahoma City. We had some other ones, but I really think what galvanized us was end of January 20, after the Atlanta game, 22nd, that the team really committed to being a better defensive team if we were going to make the playoffs. The schedule came back to us, had a lot of home games. I think all those things came together to help us understand that, we can do this if we understand how. And all that we went through up to that point, first half of the season, I think helped us get to the second half of the season. So I don't know if there was 1 or 2 times that did it, but those are the moments that I kind of remember.
I know you guys had the exit interviews, and usually that's about what you did, what you can do, how do you get better in the summer. And you don't have to share anything specific about a specific player, but are there things you want guys to work on this summer so that they're more prepared for next year?
Yeah, the tough thing for me, I think their summer workouts is always about, the offense, and ball handling and pick and rolls and spot shooting and shooting off the dribble. And, everything seems to involve a ball, which is, I don't think anybody can get enough of that. You look at how much Alan Crabb got better and Al Farouk Amino got better as far as shooting, and they need to continue to grow in those areas. But the challenge for us next year, regardless of what the rosters may have, is I think as long as you have Dame and CJ, you're going to be able to score some points. And how we get better next year is going to be defensively, and it's hard to work on that in the summer. It's hard to work on, reading defenses and stunting and helping, and it's tough. And so I think all the players are going to work on all the things that you need to work on individually, particularly at the offensive end. Now, some of the young guys playing in summer league and hopefully coaching them in the summer in June, like Noah and Luis and Cliff and Pat, they'll get some of that work. But the rest of the team, I think everybody needs to work on everything: shooting, dribbling, passing, and getting stronger, all those things.
much was written about this, and a lot of players commented about how emotional a moment it was. I don't know that we heard your thoughts on it, though, because you were there too. After the last game, to have a guy you've known for a long time, Trailblazer owner Paul Allen, come into the locker room and really give an impassioned discussion and speech to the team from the heart, it sounds like, commenting on his thoughts on this season. Can you talk about what you've seen him give speeches before? It sounds like this one was pretty unique, though.
Well, it was, because it was very heartfelt. And, he has been the owner for 28 years. And obviously he's seen it all. And he's been with a lot of teams. And, I don't know how he has been with previous teams before I got here. But certainly him speaking to the team and speaking from the heart really touched everybody. And the sincerity of his words, I think, are the things that we all took away from it. And he loves the Blazers. He loved this team, and I think he realized this team embodied what you want from a basketball team. He was very proud of it, and so it was very touching for everybody in the room.
All right, Cap, are we letting Coach go? I think, right?
Yes.
I mean,
we're not letting him go.
I'm leaving from
this segment.
I'm out of here.
We should specify from this segment from the show. Yes. We hope that soon we may have some other things to discuss. Can we say that?
Sure.
Because I said it. You just go along with everything I say. Coach, wonderful having you here, and wonderful having you here, period. And thank you for your time and the graciousness that you show all of us in terms of making our jobs easier. So thank you for another great season, and we hope to be around with you for many seasons to come.
And I you guys know this, but one of the highlights of my job, honestly, is doing the radio show with you after a win. Now, after losses, it's not so much.
Yeah.
But you're very gracious in the losses, like you get me off quick. But I enjoy our conversations. I enjoy the banter, and you make it fun.
Coach, thank you very much.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Have fun with Jan. Hope you get to catch up on what's left of the Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, and I have a feeling we'll be seeing you again soon. Probably you'll be dressed even nicer next time we see you. We hopeful.
I try to always look nice.
I mean,
Yeah, okay.
I should say more
You
formal.
do look nice, Coach.
Formal.
Let's
All right, let's put it that way.
There he is, Trailblazer head coach Terry Stotts.